Welcome back to the box office, guys. Welcome to another episode. Once again, please, when you guys get the chance, like, subscribe, comment down below your thoughts, opinions on these fights. Let's talk the boxing game together. But without further ado, Brandon Figueroa versus Luis Nery. Interesting matchup, something that has a lot to offer, and I think can be a very interesting fight, depending on who goes in there and is a more assertive fighter. I think it's going to be a very interesting fight, kind of like the fight that we had not that long ago that we covered, the Angelo Leo fight. So I think it's going to be a good matchup, a good scrap, and something that the fans should keep an eye on. So we got the Vegas favorite, Luis Nery. Luis Nery is actually a southpaw fighter, 5'6", fighting out of Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico. Alright, he's the #1 fighter in Mexico, #2 ranked in the world. Keep in mind, he is fighting Brandon Figueroa, who is a taller opponent. Luis Nery is 5'6", Brandon Figueroa is 5'9", with a 72-inch reach. Luis Nery, 66.5-inch reach, so it is going to be a contrast in styles, and one that I would think Figueroa would want to fight on the outside is, I'd be lying to you if that was the case. Brandon Figueroa, very aggressive, might give up his height, might give up his reach, which will make it an interesting fight here. Now, let's look at the keys of victory. We're going to go with the Vegas favorite. The Vegas favorite, Luis Nery. Keep in mind, he is coming in as the Vegas just favorite. Brandon Figueroa, the Vegas underdog. Although the stats and the numbers seem a little close, seem a little far, this fight is a lot closer than what I see on the odds. Luis Nery is at a -240, while Brandon Figueroa is at a +190 as far as odds go. Alright, so let's go to the keys of victory for Luis Nery. And there we have it. Luis Nery, my man. You're going in possibly your toughest test of your young career. And I say young because you only had 9 amateur fights. 31 fights as in professional ranks. Kind of balance out, okay? So you had your 31 wins, 24 knockouts, 0 losses. You're fighting another undefeated fighter, which is back-to-back undefeated fighters in your career. Figueroa is going to pose different challenges for you. Now, keep in mind, first and foremost, do what you're good at. Fight at your distance. You're a slick southpaw that can use an occasional shoulder roll. You do explode, and you are, you do possess that knockout power, but you have to fight at your distance in this fight. What that means is don't smother your punches. Just because you can land on the inside doesn't mean you should fight on the inside. You need to fight at your distance, use your footwork, your head movement, and make this guy miss. And the more you make him miss in the later rounds, the easier this fight's going to be. Now, don't just make him miss. My next step is precise counters, okay? Make a miss, and then boom, come up with your own shot. Don't fall in love with making a miss and staying out here and admiring your work. You're going to get no points for that. This is going to be a fight where Brandon is going to come in, he's going to bring the heat, and you're going to have to react and act to that. So fight at your distance, use your jab, move your head, come in, but don't fall in love fighting on the inside. Like I said, just because you can hit him on the inside doesn't mean you should fall in love and keep hitting him on the inside, because that's where he wants to fight. And if you're making him comfortable, he's going to potentially start developing some momentum in the middle of the late rounds if you can't get him out of there with some pop. Okay? So fight at your distance. Precise counters. If he comes in here with a lazy jab, come up over the top. If you catch something, shoot your own punch. If you just make a miss, shoe shine him, get out the way, fight at your distance. It all starts coming together, specifically in the mid to later rounds, if you're executing your game plan. You can potentially stop this fighter because fighters like these do get hit a lot. And that's why I put don't fall in love. Like I mentioned, just if you can hit him with a specific punch on the inside and you feel like, oh, this one's got him. No. Oh, again, nothing. Eventually, he might counter and start hitting. He's fighting at his pace, at his distance where he wants to be, and you're making him comfortable. Could possess some problems in the later rounds. So be smart, be tactical, be precise, don't fall in love, and fight at your distance, counter, and you'll be fine. You'll go on and win. Although the odds are, you know, in your favor, almost 2-1 or 1-2. You do possess, you know, that slick boxing skill and enough power to get this guy off of you, and maybe even eventually in the later rounds stop the guy. More of half of your fights have gotten by knockout. I believe it's actually 70%, a little bit more than 70% of your wins are coming by the way of knockout. So just execute and you'll be fine. You'll go on and you'll have a victory and you'll be celebrating tomorrow night. But let's go down to the keys of victory for the red corner, the Vegas Underdog. Here we go. Brandon Figueroa. I put this picture up for you specifically for that reason. This might be what the fight comes out and or how it plays out. Hitting and getting hit. Point number one, Brandon, you need to attack. Let's be real. We know what you're good at, and that's coming forward. You got to attack, you know, mix up your attack to the head, to the body, throw combos, but don't just sit there after you land the punch. You know what I mean? You want to move, you want to give your angles. Yeah, I know you feel comfortable. You might feel like you can bully this guy. If you get him up to the ropes, you might be able to throw your punches and land something significant. We get that. But you got to be smart with your attack, head, body, you know, body, head. Wear this guy out, invest in the body, as I'm mentioning in point 3. In the later rounds, it will pay dividends, and you will see, you know, his defense slow up a bit. He's going to lose a little bit of pop, a little bit of head movement, maybe even feet work, you know. So attack the body. And the middle one that I kind of skipped over is be a t-shirt. You are a come forward fighter. You know, you want to see him moving backwards, take some sting out of his punches. Don't get caught with anything silly, but you want to be a t-shirt and you want to be in front of this guy. The more he has a high guard, the more tense he is, the harder it's going to be for him to keep that guard, keep that same energy level in the later rounds. Just from the simple fact that you're applying pressure with that jab coming in, with your feet work, staying in front of him. Just because you're in front of him doesn't mean you're going to shoot all the time. Mix up your attack, tag the head, the body, but you want to be a t-shirt eventually and just keep applying that pressure. Keep his hands up, keep his defense nice and tight, keep him honest. You do this, you know, I can see, you know, something coming up in the later rounds where you're wearing and tearing. Maybe you're getting hit with the cleaner shots, but you're investing to the body, you're tagging the body, you're applying that pressure, you're in front of them, and then you're attacking smartly around the ring. You know, you're using your head movement, you're not coming in a straight line, you're using that jab to cut the distance. You know, you're slipping, you're ducking, you're bobbing, you're weaving your way in, and you're starting investing, you know, and slowly but surely you can break down this fighter. And I do have an interesting prediction and bet because this fight, like I mentioned, the Angelo Leo fight, I see this kind of same style, which is going to be for good fireworks and good entertainment. All right, so here we have it. Bets and predictions. As you can see, Luis Nery, I like Luis Nery to win. The reason why is I like how, you know, when it comes to these close fights, both very talented fighters, both very, you know, disciplined in their craft. They both have a specific way of fighting. I tend to lean more towards the boxer. All right, and I do feel like Luis Nery possesses a little bit more of that boxing skill, that slickness to his game, him being a southpaw where he can catch Brandon Figueroa coming in. He can tag him to the body. He can lay and set traps for this fighter, you know, and you know, get the better of him. Whether he wins by knockout or decision, it's kind of up in the air. There's some nice betting props for the middle of the rounds, over under. If you are a betting man, the 8-9 round over under seems to have more value than just a Luis Nery win. Do you think Luis Nery can knock out Brandon Figueroa? Potentially. Brandon Figueroa is going to come in strong. If he starts landing his punches, it's going to be all about momentum and who executes. Like I mentioned, this fight reminds me a lot of the Angelo Leo and the Stephen Fulton fight, in which Stephen Fulton, the boxer, did stand in spurts in the middle of the ring and trade with the guy. He did catch himself on the ropes, and they had a brilliant fight. Well judged, well schooled, you know, everything was very fan friendly, and I believe this is going to be the same type of fight where he's gonna try to box and stay outside and counter. He does, don't get me wrong, Luis Nery, very explosive. He does like popping in and out, you know. But when the level is raised, and this being his toughest challenges, how's he going to react? Brandon Figueroa does seem like a nice deal as far as value, because Luis Nery only has 9 amateur fights. How's he going to react if he starts getting pressured, if he starts getting hit? Do we think he has enough in the tank to finish 12 hard, solid rounds, boxing and being disciplined? Or is he going to cave in and fight in spurts on the inside, exposing himself to a Brandon Figueroa flurry, maybe getting caught with something? What do you guys think? It's going to be a good one, guys. I think Luis Nery should win the fight. I have a thing about predicting that come forward fighters, unless they have a specific style, are going to win. But this is a live underdog. 2-1, not that bad for Brandon Figueroa. I can easily see him winning, landing something clean, and just dictating the pace of the fight. I can also see Luis Nery outboxing this guy. When we have a matchup like this, rule of thumb for me is always go with the boxer, just because if all else fails, we know the boxer's gonna just try to stay disciplined. That's just my kind of rule of thumb. Luis Nery should win. Figueroa is a live underdog. It's going to be an exciting fight. How do you guys think it's going to play out? Is there any prop bets that you guys are looking at? And comment, like, subscribe to the channel, and let's talk the boxing game, guys. Take care.